do on this is demonstrate. This has a nice central leader. Do you guys see that going all the way through?
Yep.
So, and really, structurally, there's not much I need to do on this tree. So, what I would employ on this is what we call a crown raise. All we're simply going to do is just try and bring this crown up to allow more space for the lawnmowers. You can already see that something, probably a lawnmower, got in there and took a hunk out of the trunk right there. So, as much as you're going to do, you typically don't want to go over 20% of the entire crown. And you don't want to make sure, your crown ratio, you want to make sure it has about 30% of the entire tree has a crown on it. It's kind of what we're shooting for, okay? So that kind of gives you an idea how much we're going to take off on there. It's not going to be a lot. I'm just going to probably remove these lower branches here, and then we'll have essentially a nice little crown moving forward. Now, on these smaller branches, you don't really need to do the 3-point cut, and I'll demonstrate that to you guys over here. But you want to stay outside of the collar on these, and just, you see how that is? If you don't want to flush cut that all the way off, because then you won't have the callus tissue there to heal or seal itself off. Make sense? Yeah. If you guys come up here and take a look at this one, I just want to show you that one. That one's really easy to see where the callus tissue is on that. Do you see that?
Yep.
So I'm going to come right outside of that, okay? Real quickly. See how that is? Okay. And then over here, I'm going to do 2 more. There. Now, stand back, take a look. That's what we got. I mean, we increased the crown raise by about 12 inches on this particular tree. So we didn't do a whole bunch. Now, the question now is, do we go higher? And what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I think I would take that one off.
Yeah, I'll
Take this one off?
Yes.
yeah.
Now look at, if we take this off,
Oh, it's
the thing I talked about on our presentation was taper, right? Trunk taper. And what that is essentially it's wider here and it gradually gets here. Now, at each one of these little whorl areas, look how much it starts reducing in size, the diameter of the tree. And so I want you to realize that, because I want you to realize that branches are one of the big reasons why trunk taper develops. You have to have branches in order for that to develop right there, okay? So if we remove too much, is what I almost say is you almost create like a spaghetti noodle. It becomes too flimsy. You're gonna have too much weight up top eventually. So you wanna leave some branches to develop that branch taper. The other thing is, when I said that 30%, if we come up to here, of the entire tree, am I gonna be over that 30%?
Be at about 50,
Yeah, we're gonna be closer to 40% on that. So at this point in time, I feel like we've done enough. In order to keep the branch taper there, I wanna leave those bottom branches there. Now, there's some techniques I wanna share with you. If you're worried about this branch, which is kind of big, right? It's starting to come out. If you're worried about this branch becoming like this branch here, see this branch right here?
Yeah.
How it's now part of the entire crown? If you're worried about that, you can do a reduction cut to allow that branch to minimize the competition that's going to have down the road. So you can do something like that. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So now all of these branches up here are going to outcompete this, but we're still leaving it on to develop some taper down here. So it's a technique I use. Okay, you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm just going to do that on all these lower branches, just tuck them in a little bit so we don't have any issues down the road on that. And it's a real quick process. You just cut them all back to a branch.
The dead one here, you cut the dead one off?
The what?
The dead one?
No, we like the dead ones. No, I'm just kidding. Where's the dead one? Right here?
Yes.
Yeah, you take that off there. So,
That looks better.
you guys see that? So now what I've done essentially on these bottom branches is I've reduced them And what I'm trying to do is promote that upper crown now. Now, think about every branch on this tree. It's what we would like to, it's temporary branch, right? We want the first branch to be 10 feet in the air, right? So there's not a single branch on this tree that's gonna be here down the road. All we're trying to do right now is train it to get us to that point. You guys understand that?
We can probably lock that one a bit clear too.
They're not, yeah, we can do that one. I didn't get over that side. Thanks, Fred.
So Kasey, I noticed you cut it, if you're cutting a rose, we always talk to kind of angle it down. So the cut is down and it's not getting water in it.
Getting water in it.
But you don't need to do that on these, so.
These all are in a way, but the most important thing is that you just leave it right outside the angle of the branch is going to determine where your cut is.
Yeah.
So I do that on larger branches sometimes, but on these small ones like this, it's not going to take. I just want to stay outside of that callus tissue. So if the branch is coming down like that, it may be at an angle actually opposite than what you were telling me. It may if it's coming directly out, it may just be completely flesh. Not flesh. When I say flesh, it may be completely perpendicular to the trunk. Make sense?
And the 30% is the clear area.
30% is the entire trunk of the tree, and no more than 20% in one cutting. Does that make sense? Now, take those as rules, because once we get over here and we start doing some of these down the street, there's gonna be one or two of them. I might get a little aggressive. Trying to show you this. You guys see this branch right here? What we're going to do is kind of give you the do's and the don'ts of the 3-point cut. Now, here's your ridge. This is your collar in here, right? This one's kind of coming at a weird angle right here. It's kind of wrapping in and around right here. Do you see that? So I want to avoid getting into the collar on the back side here. But essentially what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to probably purposely show you the damage at this call without doing the 3-point cut on this, okay? So what this is on a larger branch, just going straight through the top of it, okay? You guys over here, I just need you to move back a little bit. So as I'm coming down, see that tear there? You guys see that? That's what we don't want to do. I purposely brought that out there. So I want you guys to come up here and take a look at this little tear right there. We'll cut that off a little bit so it gets back.
Yeah.
See how that is? If I would have let that go, that could have come all the way down here and actually pulled off made a huge wound on that. Okay? So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. There you go. It's a pretty good cut. And now, on this one over here, I'm going to show you, so you guys can see, what we call the 3-point cut, okay? It's a little bit more work, but we're not going to damage the tree. Essentially, all I'm going to do, watch yourself, Kasey. Yeah. Is do an undercut here. From that point on, I'm going to come out away from that cut and make my cut here. That one didn't come down to that branch. But eventually, if you cut it down that way, it's a protector to keep that tear. So it would come back, but it would stop at that point. You guys understand that? And then I could go ahead and make my final cut through here. Just make sure. Good?